Now, in the previous section, we stopped at defining our app.js file, and the naming can be really up to you, but many people just like keeping things a bit simple like this. So let's figure out how to hook up stuff into your page. Now, Angular needs your help. For one, you need to define the scope of your whole entire application. And we do that using an attribute or a directive. Attributes and directives are pretty much the same thing in Angular. And this directive is known as ng-app. Now let's take a look at what it does, and we'll just do a quick search here. And 1 second, let's click this. ng-app. And ng-app is a directive that bootstraps or initializes your AngularJS application. The ng directive designates the root of your application. And in our case, the root could be at the very top here in HTML. Some people tend to also put it as well in the body. And it's up to you to make that choice. So we will give our app name a fancy name. And for now, let's just call it my app. And what we'll do is we'll go into app.js, and you can see that the first thing we did was have my app shown here. Wonderful. And when we do refresh, we'll see that we have ng-app here and a class of ng-scope. Now, the next step is we need to define where the controller will define the views that we want to see, and we want to look at the message that gets produced. Now, for us, we could do that within the body. Let's type ng-controller, and we go back and take a look at the name, which happens to be main controller or main courtier. We'll have that, and then we'll add this extra thing to shorten it out. We'll use the as or controller as syntax, and in your research, you might find this being used differently, but this is the way many people are encouraging developers to work with Angular, especially as they prepare for the next version of Angular being launched in 2016 as of this recording. All right. Now, how do we see the message that we defined here? That's the goal. We want to be able to see the message. And to do that, we shall perhaps maybe put it an h3 tag. And in there, we'll use curly braces. Notice they're double here and double there. And in here, we shall type main.message. When we save and refresh, there you see our message. And you can differentiate it. In the show notes, we're using a different example. We have appointments. So you can keep adding a bunch of different things. Appointment, meeting Dr. Steve, for example. And when you go back into your index.html, what do you think it will look like? Yeah, it might look something like this: main.appointments. If you guess that, you're pretty right. And when we refresh, meeting Dr. Steve. So directives are amazing in Angular. And we'll take a look at some amazing apps that can be built in Angular, and I hope you enjoy that.